Alright, you guys, it's Hex, and I'm back, and I've got a couple of things for you. Ooh, that's kind of fun. I can throw this thing back and forth in my hands. I didn't realize that. That's funny. What I've got for you is two desert houses that could be used in like a sci-fi type world. They could also be used in a regular world too. Doesn't really matter. But my kind of inspiration for this was like the houses that you see in the city of Mos Eisley in Tatooine on the Star Wars. These are the two houses that I came up with, and I'm actually going to show you how to build both of them at the same time because they're basically the same thing with slight variations in the windows. So as you can see, they're just two desert looking houses. All right, so let's go ahead and get on with the tutorial. So over here I've created these houses, and I've sort of built out the bottom layout for them. So it's 7, counting this one, 13 all the way to the back, counting that block, 13 all the way to this corner, counting the corner 7 here, counting the corner 7 here, counting that corner 7 to there. Okay, this one here is exactly the same. This is the other house, if you will. So yeah, exactly the same. All right, so the next thing you're going to do is you're going to build up 2 levels like this with regular sandstone. So just go up to like that with regular sandstone all the way around. Okay, so I've done that on both houses. And then that was pretty easy, right? So the next thing you're going to do is you're going to go back to your smooth sandstone, and you're going to build the following little things. You're going to go up 2, and then on top of that is going to be a sandstone stair. And I'm going to do that on every corner, and then in the middle on these longer sides. So 1, 2, and then a stair on top like that. And I'm going to do the corner 1, 2, and then a stair on top like that. I'm just going to do this all the way around all of these. And then on the longer sides, what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the middle. So it should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It should be the 7th one. And that's not right. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the 6th one. Sorry about that. So then you've got 5 here and 5 there. And then you go up 2 and 1 on the thing like that. So it sort of subdivides that center. Okay. And then you do the same thing over here. All right, so this one here presents a bit of a challenge, this corner right here. So what I did on the other ones is I did 2 up like that, and then I did the stair facing this. Thank you very much. I did the stair facing that way. You could also face the stair that way, but getting it to go like corner-wise, like you'd want it to go, is, I don't think you can do that. Maybe if you're like a pro with, because that's what like you want to do, but then you have this dumb gap right here. So I don't think there's any other way to do it. So that you can get no. Anyway, so I'm going to go like that because I think that it looks better if having it face the front of the building rather than the back of it. So face it like that. Okay, and then do the same thing. If I'm just going to do the same thing to this one here so you can see the difference. So now that we've done that, the next thing to do is you're going to put on this one here a layer of smooth sandstone all the way around, and then on the one where it has the sort of every other window, what you're going to do is you're going to put a layer of the smooth sandstone on each sort of alternating space there. So let me show you the difference. So like on this one here, what I'm going to do, if you want to build the one I was just looking at, then you're going to go like this. Okay, and you're going to do this all the way around, every other one all the way around like this. Okay, so that's this one. On this one here, what you're going to do is you're going to put the layer all the way around like this. So it's 100% this smooth sandstone, not skipping any gaps. So all the way around. Pretty simple so far. I think these houses are, for the way that they look, I think they're pretty simple to make actually. So you probably build a bunch of them. And you could probably see on my screen in the background another type over there. That's going to be for another tutorial. So I was trying to keep that out of view, but oh well. Sorry about that. There we go. Okay, so there we go. So there's the 2 so far. The next thing that you're going to do is on this one here, you're going to put a half slab and I used acacia wood, but you can use a different color if you want to. And in fact, what I'm probably going to do is a tutorial on how to make variations of any sort of building. I might use this building to create the variations, but basically, one way to do variations is if you want to make like a bunch of these different houses, like for in a city or something, one way to do variations is to just vary up the type of material that you're using for the accent. So like this would be perhaps, I don't know, jungle wood might work well, or spruce wood or dark oak or something like that, and then you could build basically the same house over and over again and just switch up the colors of the accent, and then you can get a variation that way. So it's kind of cool. Anyways, so that's what I've got all the way around on this one here. And then on this one here, to create those windows, what I did is I knocked out every space in between here and here except on the front. So the front I left alone, and then the sides I went like this. And then you're going to put in acacia wood on the middle three, and then you have to have, hold on, let me get them real quick, the stair of that acacia wood, right like this, and put one there and one there. Okay, so I'm going to go around on this one here and do some more. Okay, then we're going to go ahead and do the same thing all the way around. So a stair there, a stair there. So see how I'm knocking out that it's the second layer of the sandstone. Now, if you want to just build this as opposed to building the sandstone, that's probably be the way to go, but I'm just showing you tutorial-wise how to get it done. Okay, so then knock out these, and you're going to put in half slabs there. And another inspiration for these houses, and especially the windows, is that somewhere when I was younger, I saw a diagram of a house in like a desert style house. I don't know if it was like Persian or Arabian or something like that, where basically the idea was if the windows were smaller and up high like this, then any cool breeze that would come, like say in the evening or even during the day, would blow into the side of this thing, and then the cool air would descend, pushing the hot air up out the other side, so then thus cooling the house. And so I thought that was kind of cool. So then that's kind of the way that these windows are designed, is to be a little bit higher and narrower than like you would have in a standard suburban type house, in order to create that kind of airflow. So just a little tip. Sometimes like real architectural things work well in Minecraft. Sometimes they don't, but sometimes they do. Okay, that's that for these two. So now the next thing that I did is on this one here, to create the roof, what I did is I just simply put acacia wood half slabs all the way across like this. So I just filled in the entire roof with acacia wood half slabs, but I did not go over these smooth stone bricks, and that's to kind of create this sort of like a dome effect almost. All right, I've got the roof on this one. Next, I'm going to put the roof on this one. Sorry, we'll do the details in just a second. So this one here, I used the half slab, the sandstone half slabs like this all the way across, just like on the other one. And if you want to break up the roof a little bit, I'll show you a tip on that, because this one here looks a little bit like, oh gosh, that's a lot of acacia wood. So I can show you a couple of ways to break up, or at least one way that I like to do, to break up the roof just a little bit. All right, we got the roofs on both houses. If you want to add a little variation to the roof, you could put in some skylights like this. So all I'm using is just some trapdoors, and you just plop them in like this. And then maybe one right here, something like that. I don't know. So you can kind of put them in like however you want, you know. And I would kind of base it more on what's going on the inside. So like, let's say that this is like your table right here, perhaps having some over the table, or maybe this is a bedroom back in here, or maybe over, just, you know, however it works as far as being on the inside. You could do the same thing to this. Let's use a different kind of trapdoor though. Maybe this one's a little bit more sci-fi, and you've got, you know, some iron trapdoors instead. So maybe something like this might kind of break up the roof, so that, especially now that you have elytra and you can fly over the top of it, just to, you know, I mean, having like a big boring roof like that is kind of not fun to look at. So if you add some variety to your roofs, kind of helps out with that whole thing like that. So there we go. Something like that. I don't know. Just whatever. So this one here was actually a mistake, but like I said, I like to leave my mistakes sometimes, because sometimes they turn out well. So the rest of this is going to be pretty much the same on both of these. What you're going to do is right here in the front, you're going to knock out these two, and you're going to put in, I like to use a spruce door because I think that it looks the best as far as the rustic nature of these houses. So I mean, if you look at the other doors, right, the birch door, that kind of looks like a modern design. This one here might work okay, but it has these sort of open slats in it. That doesn't seem, this one here with the gold hardware doesn't fit either. Maybe the jungle door would work, but that looked to me, again, looks more like a suburban house type thing, where this one here looks more, a little bit more rustic. So I like that. Also, I think that if you're going for like the sci-fi vibe, that an iron door might be a good choice as well. Let's take a look at what that looks like. Perhaps the iron door would be a cool vibe right here. Yeah, so that might work out. I'm going with the spruce door because I really like the way that it looks with this particular build. Okay, so then I'm gonna do that over here to this one. Knock these two out, put in a spruce door like that. And it might be better to probably replace this with whatever you want to have as your floor on the inside first, but oops, oh well. The next thing that I did is I took out some, let's see, some acacia wood fence posts, and I went around like this, and I put 2 fence posts on the inside of each one of these like this, okay? And then I skipped the corners. You could maybe try the corner like that, but I think that kind of takes away from the, I don't know, I don't like that. I think it's a little bit too much, but like this, okay? Like that. And then you could like maybe detail a little bit like that, but I don't really like that. It's kind of up to you what you want to do on the detail, but this is what I did on the other ones, and I think that it worked well. Sometimes too much detail is, well, too much detail, to be perfectly honest. So I'm going to go around and do the rest of this. Okay, the next thing that I did is I put some buttons at the bottom of each one of these. Don't really know why. For some reason, buttons work really well as a decorative thing, especially, you know, little wooden buttons. They work really well to decorate things. So let's put one at the bottom of each one of those. I suppose you could go nuts and put one there and there, but I didn't do that on the other one, so I could do that. But you could also maybe potentially try to put, you know, some buttons here. You could put a button down there and there like that. There's a lot of different things you could do with the buttons, but for purposes of making it look exactly like the ones that I built over there, I'm gonna just do this. But you could add a few more of those buttons. They look pretty cool wherever you are. So, and do this other house. All right, so there we have that. Now the next thing that I did is I put some trapdoors on the front as like an awning. So get out our wooden trapdoors, and we're just gonna go. I think I put them. How did I do it? I think I went one higher. Oh, I hate that when I break a block. I don't mean to break. That drives me crazy. All right, I put them like that. There we go. You might like them one lower, but I like them right here. I feel like that looks like the right place. Okay. The last thing that I did is I just put a little bit of decorative stuff around it. So I put some cactus. I think I used some jungle leaves like this. And then, so this isn't like perfectly authentic, but I kind of like the way that these jungle leaves, they have like this kind of yellowy texture in them right there when you're putting them in on a desert. I kind of think that sort of, it makes it look like it's kind of like a desert plant of some sort rather than whatever. And if you want to put some wood underneath them to make them look more planty, that's cool. But so that's what I did there. And then I just put like a cactus like somewhere in here. You know, it might be kind of cool to have a little bit taller one. And then maybe like a short one like that. In order to keep it short, you have to put some string on top, just to, in case you didn't know that. So we'll put a piece of string on top that will keep it from growing, I think. Or maybe, yeah, I think that does it, to put a little string on top. Okay, and then do the same thing over here. Okay, so that is these houses finished. On another tutorial, maybe I'll do the inside, but I didn't actually decorate much on the inside. Need to kind of look into what to do, but you have a good amount of space on the inside, I think, as far as creating, you know, a good space. Oh, another thing that I forgot to mention is it might be cool to put like just a little bit of smooth sandstone in the front here. And then another great trick that I learned from Hey Sophia is you can do stairs upside down. So see how I got the stair, and that's basically the bottom of the stair. So if you put upside down stairs, you've got sort of this other texture that kind of looks like parched ground, if you will. You know, when the ground kind of gets so dry that it cracks, and then you kind of have like these, you know, the ground is sort of like sectioned, I guess. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, but that I think that looks pretty cool, and it's just a subtle effect that, like, standing back, it's almost, you can't even almost see it, but then as you kind of get closer, it kind of pops into view. So I think that that's a nice little subtle effect. Let me do a little bit more of that over here. Perhaps, you know, just kind of put them in as taste, you know. So see how I got like a U-shaped pattern? I don't want that. Like whenever I'm doing sort of terraforming type stuff, the major goal is to place it in and kind of avoid patterns, right? So you kind of want to make it look random because nature itself is a bit on the random side. I wouldn't say that it's completely random, but I would say that there's a lot more variation and randomness than like man-made stuff. So when you're trying to create nature stuff, like just avoiding like regular patterns like checkerboards and stuff like that. There we go. Very cool. So there are 2 little houses for you to put in your desert world. Okay. Well, this has been Hex. I hope that you like these 2 desert little houses. Hope that you maybe try them out, put them in your world. Another thing I was talking about variation, like you could actually put both of these in your world because they look like variations on a theme, right? So that's another way to vary it up. You could also do the sort of the L shape the other way around, or whatever you want to do. And feel free to experiment and do some different things with them, and yeah, go for it like that. Okay? All right. Well, this has been Hex, and God bless.